Good morning and welcome to Trading with Larry. It's Larry Benedict joined by Eric Shamalov on a nice Monday morning. Nice for the market. Hope all had a good weekend. Back at it. Crazy week last week for sure. Feels like that air has been taken out of the balloon with, up 100, down on the day, up, down. It was trading like it used to be. And we're back now to a bullish week of Thanksgiving where the market has to go higher just because it has to. All AI fears are over. AI is good again. It's funny. I was actually coming in this morning and I got something from ChatGPT, and all ChatGPT is to me, or what I see, is just an information source such as Google. I don't know where. I'd like to know from you, and I'm going to throw it to you in a minute, and then we'll get into the market, get into a lot of the trading from last week, and give people good trade ideas today. But I'm trying to understand what ChatGPT is going to look like 3 years or 5 years from today, when it just, to me, today looks like Google. It was the funniest thing. I saw it on my thing and it was like, oh, ChatGPT's answer to this. So I look at this like just Google trying to be better than Google, which I don't think it ever will be, but trying to be better than Google. But where is the $1 trillion business here? What is the $1 trillion business out of what ChatGPT is doing today? Where is the $1 trillion business? And if you
I
could
actually
show
think,
that,
I
I
actually
would.
think question the AI that we see right now with LLMs. I think there's other models that they have already that they can't launch because they don't have enough compute. So I think it's a great question. I don't. It could be much better, much bigger, incorporate much more data, be able to do much more things. But in terms of next year, I know you say AI is nothing more than Google search, which is cute. But for next year, I'm actually looking at some of these biotech companies and healthcare company. Healthcare is already outperforming. XLB has been down pretty good still, and there's got to be companies in there that are going to be able to use some of this AI to bring drug trial length down, improve drug intake by being able to pinpoint how the body takes in the medicine and all that. So I can't believe you think AI is not going to affect our life and it's just pure fantasy. It's not
I'm
like the
not
medical.
saying, why are you saying that? I didn't say that at all. I'm asking a simple question of how, like you just said, oh, it's going to help with pharmaceutical companies. Duh, 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 duh. Yeah, it is, whatever. It'll make things faster. They'll be able to get answers faster. They'll be able to eliminate some jobs, whatever. But I'm just not seeing from them calling this AI, which is Google search to me, okay, AI, okay, to being, the answer to everything within the next few years, where it's going to be a multiple. Listen, if you have $1 trillion valuation on open AI, which, I don't think it definitely raised money from Masi-san at over $500 billion. So this is going to make right now open AI top 5 company in the world. How is that even possible? Like, I'm not even understanding that. I mean, you got a company making $13 billion in gross revenue, losing billions of dollars, was originally a non-for-profit company, now's profit. They don't know what they are exactly. And how is this the 5th largest company in the world? How?
Well, I think that's a good question, and I think that there are odds now. I think we spoke about. I'm going to check the odds of Sam Altman going to jail by June 30th, which is I think you got a lot of money on that. 5% probability he's going to jail by June 30th. So it's either going to
And that's,
be
that's
amazing or it's going
ridiculous.
to be a bust.
He's not going
What?
to jail in the next 6 months, but he's going to be like, what was that company with Elizabeth Holmes, Theranos or whatever? It's kind of crap. I mean, it's crap, dude. They believe that she could basically get a blood test done with one minor drop of blood. Okay. And they bought that to be back in that day, which is a different day today, in the billions and billions of dollars, and made her one of the wealthiest people in the world on a complete fraud. Okay. And I'm not saying this is a complete fraud. I think what he's doing is very fraudulent. Start with doing deals for 5 billion or 10 billion or 15 billion. Why do you have to do deals that are unattainable? I mean, that are fake. Like is it because he wants to raise money?
The nature of the this is the nature of the Silicon Valley CEO. Again, when I always liken them to the sitcom on HBO, which was great, Silicon Valley. I watched every episode because it was that good. And I think they paint a very, very accurate caricature of these guys. They always want to make the world a better place, or that's their MO. But really, they just want to like one up each other, uh, have mass control, you know. And the bigger the deal, right, the more it pumps the ego. So they're kind of full of it, most of them.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
not.
was just thinking, listen, the only reason why I'm bringing it up, and I'm bringing it up at the beginning of the show, and I don't really want to talk about it after this at all, is that I just couldn't believe like what I'm seeing. Like ChatGPT, it's just giving you an answer to something. The information, like if you my kids did a ChatGPT on me, it's better than it was a year ago, but it's still very poor. Okay, why is it so poor? Like if this thing is so good, why is it so poor? Like why does it not have the real true data? So anyway, that's one thing. And then the second thing, which is my bigger question to you, is how is this going to be $100 trillion business or a $50 trillion business? Like, how are they going to make that kind of revenue doing what? Like, what is it that they're doing that's going to have me want to spend fortunes of money doing it? So that's what
They're
I would say.
they always operate from the angle of if you build it, they will come. That's a lot of the hype.
Right.
And look, I saw a thing: hedge funds over the last 3 weeks, and they've been rotating out of tech, and guess where they've been coming in? You see it in the performance. They've been coming into healthcare. They've been coming into material stocks. So, which by the way, there was a jobs report last week, which was very interesting. And you've heard me talking about real estate a lot, and construction jobs growth went through the roof. And you dive into that report. I don't know how accurate that September report is. They've had a lot of issues, and we're not going to get an October jobs report ever or CPI report, I believe. But construction jobs through the roof. Retail jobs growth went through the roof. That's probably in anticipation of the holiday season, maybe some calming down in the tariffs. But yeah, I mean, there's there's areas that they're rotating out of. So was this whole drawdown in the market just rotation coupled with a little bit of liquidity issue, or is it people actually starting to ask questions about AI like you're asking?
Well, I think that people made a lot of money this year in AI. I think people rotated out of AI. I would tell you that it's funny that last week I feel like the market felt very panicky almost every day of the week. Like we were up 80 handles, we would go down. Like today we're up 42 points on S&P. I would be utterly shocked to see us go negative today only because I feel like the air is being taken out for Thanksgiving week and volatility, even though it's still high, is going to slowly come down pretty much all week. And it's kind of what I said earlier. last week is we're coming into some seasonality in the sense there's just not a lot of time left in the year. I do think there's going to be hiccups. I'm very surprised that the US equity market is up this much with Bitcoin, which is really the biggest, even though, like we always talk about, it's not really a true asset class at $1.6 trillion. That's the value almost of ChatGPT, which isn't even a real company in the marketplace. Um, at $1.6 trillion, you would think that Bitcoin would come out of the hole in a bigger way today than being up 2%. I mean, this thing's moving 5-10%, and we've come in 37% from the high. That's a lot, dude. That's a marked correction crash. Okay. I mean, that if the stock market came in 10%, this place would blow up. Okay. And this thing is down 37%, and we're just sitting, and we haven't bounced at all. Very little. In full disclosure, I'm long Bitcoin. I have not been long Bitcoin pretty much the whole year. Okay. We were shorted up in there. We did well. We had a couple of trades that did very nicely for our subscribers, and now we're sitting long. We were a little bit early. I think my average is like 89,000 on this. It's trading around 86,000. It's nothing in the scheme of reality compared to where we were. But I would have thought with the S&P having an up opening like this and Bitcoin being up more over the weekend, that we would be doing a little bit better. And I don't know if you were trading last night. This morning at around 7 a.m., S&P almost went negative on the day after opening up overnight and being up pretty much all night. And then it almost went negative, and then somehow it rallied. And then this clown, and I think of a guy with a clown hat on and whatever, Mike Wilson from Morgan Stanley, who was bearish for 3 years. 3 years this guy was bearish. Okay. three
He flipped.
years.
Don't tell
And
me he
now,
flipped.
what?
Did he flip?
No, he's been bullish for pretty much the whole year. Okay. But he keeps reiterating bullish, bullish, bullish. This guy was bearish for literally 3 years. Like, how does that guy get a pass? Like, how do you get a pass? How could you be wrong for 2 to 3 full years? Flip your position at the dead high, and then keep reiterating up when the market's not going up, going down, and his price target is basically, I don't know, 76, is less than like 7% from here. Would you waste your time getting bullish to make another 6 or 7 with the risk out there in the market? I think it's just a bad bet, but that's what these guys are made of. And you've seen the Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah, where's Tom Lee? Tom Lee is actually saying Bitcoin. Did you read this crap over the weekend? Bitcoin went down because there was a glitch in the software. I mean, is that what this guy actually believes? A
Yeah,
glitch in the
I
software.
saw that. I saw that. There's a lot of stories that captivate that they know will captivate, but in the
But
middle
what
of his, uh,
captivate who? Who is it captivating? You're no one that has a rational mind is believing that the thing went down 37% over 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. It went down 37% over 2 to 3 weeks, and
you know
and
how people look at Twitter, they'll see the tweet or a video, and they're like, oh, that makes sense, and they'll borrow that as their opinion for the next couple of days.
But you always do that. You always say, "Oh, that's the mantra." Like you had this clown man who we won't mention his name, okay?
For
Basically
the
giving
record,
a
I
narrative to
you, I
you.
don't believe he's a clown man, but that's your opinion.
Okay, that's fine. Well, listen to me. I know factually, that there's never been any P&L ever, okay? And you cannot sit long something for 37%, okay? Nobody can, okay? So if you think that that's okay and it's fine, then you can believe, you're believing a narrative. This is the narrative that you
I'm not.
actually.
I'm not. Again, dude. I don't believe in anything other than what I believe in.
Well, what do you mean?
I
You were selling the narrative to the
haven't
people.
bought your narrative in 5 years. I've been working side by side with you. Have I bought your narrative one time? No, I don't buy
I don't know. The
anybody's
other
narrative.
day you said, "Oh, thank you, Larry. You helped me make a winning trade." Okay,
I
so
did.
yeah, you
I
bought
said that
it for a
I
little bit.
wanted to give you a pat on the back. I think I was
Okay,
being really
whatever.
mean.
Eric, listen
Being
to me.
really mean to
You
you,
came
man.
on, you came on the show, which is fine, and I don't have a problem with it. And you gave a narrative, okay, which is fine. Which narrative didn't make a lot of sense. That the smart money is getting out of Bitcoin at 125,000, and a bunch of 1 to 8 lot buyers are buying Bitcoin, and that's a good reason for it to go up. So all I'm saying is that narrative, in even processing it, doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's
Well,
okay. My
the
question is,
results are good.
what do we do from here? That's the question. We're long it,
Well,
okay?
here's
We're
what I'm
long it.
thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. I think it ties into this bond long that I'm working on. The liquidity was look. I don't care what Tom Lee says. I know one thing. I know that crypto and Bitcoin need two things to survive. Like a fish needs air or water. I don't know, whatever. But Bitcoin and crypto need liquidity and they need momentum. First, they lost the momentum, and then the liquidity dried out, and they
Well,
needed more.
liquidity is 100% based on momentum, okay? But
No, no, they're two different things. They're two different things, but they need it because of the leverage. The whole crypto space is leveraged through, and when you have momentum, that leverage starts.
why would you want to be invested in something that's leveraged? That
Right.
that
So
to me
they use
makes no
leverage
sense.
crazy. They use leverage like crazy, and as the liquidity started to go down, the availability of that leverage must have also come down. So when is that liquidity coming back? I think it's coming back in December.
I love you, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. December with liquidity, and you think because the Fed is putting liquidity wherever you think they're putting it, it's going to make everything rally. It's insane. Okay,
I think it's something to look for. Yeah, I don't think it's insane. I
I
think
do. I do.
okay.
The stock market is 3% from an all-time high. Why do they need to add liquidity? Like, I don't understand why. What's the reason why? And the bond trade is, where do you think the bond is going? It's now at 405. Where do you think bonds are going?
That one is
Because
trickier because that one is going to have the Fed either rate cut or no rate cut affect that. So, I mean, are they going to cut or are they not going to? The Fed minutes last week on Wednesday when it came out showed a Fed that does not want to cut, and the probabilities in the swaps came down pretty good. So I don't know if they're going to cut, but I do think bonds are starting. I don't know. To me, they kind of look good on the 30 year. Um,
okay. I mean, I don't suggest for people out there, if you want to express a view in bonds to trade the 30-year, you talk about liquidity, that's
But
much
that's
more.
TLT. But that's TLT.
No, it
TLT is
isn't.
20 years plus.
No, it isn't. It's 20-year bonds basically. It's a mixture of a bunch of different
Right.
expiration bonds, 10s out to 30s. It kind of tracks uh, really the 10-year more than anything, but I don't listen. For me, I was probably one of the biggest 30-year bond traders in history of the bond market. Okay. I traded massive size. Okay. It was a great trading market with liquidity. That ended a while ago. Okay. You can really get trapped in a 30-year. I mean, it hasn't, it's been pretty mellow over the last 6 months to a year, but over time, that's just not a place where I want to frequent, but you can. Um, and overall, we're getting into holiday week. Gold is kind of just bouncing around. You know, Probably best performing asset. I wanted to buy some oil in here. It bounced a little. I think if it gets down into the mid 57s, I want to get long that. I'm looking at that trade for a trade, and looks kind of quiet.
You want to
Quiet.
buy gold? Is that what you just said? I didn't
No,
hear
I
that.
said I want to buy crude. I do not want to
Crude.
buy gold. I want to buy crude. I want to buy crude in the 57 handle. 57 half would be a good level. We were there last night. Um, you
Yeah,
know,
they're
I,
pretty
I I don't see a lot. Listen, I'm happy with this opening. We're a little bit long for my ETF, um, etc. But I have what do they call it? A hair trigger. I'm gonna, you know, uh, I'm gonna have to see, what goes on.
Yeah, crude looks interesting for sure. For sure. You know what I'm looking at today? Uh, X XHB. Pull that up.
Ah,
Very interesting technical setup. What do you think of XHB?
you know what's very fun? I
Look at
was
this setup.
a couple of
Look at
years.
right. It dipped below all these whatever moving averages. I look at all of them the same. What I like is coiling. It's starting to coil, but it dropped below what is that, the 200, the yellow line, right? Came right back in. So that's a false breakdown. I love false breakdowns. I don't know. XHB looks good to me. What do you think?
You know what? I got to tell you, about 4 or 5 years ago, I was advising to some Brazilian banks, and one of the best trades that I've done in a very long time was we caught a short dive in XHB. Um, I haven't traded it in a bunch of years. I mean, I don't know. You think it looks good here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get bullish on home builders and real estate in general. And maybe this is a good spot right here. I feel
Yeah.
like I missed this move in St. Joe. I got into a different stock that's related to mortgages, which is IHNB. Where's the hold on? Where's the stock? Whatever, I'll pull that up. But I missed St. Joe, and I'm thinking, yeah, XHB as a sector trade would be pretty interesting. This is Joe, by the way, St. Joe. They operate in Florida, don't they? They have a lot of stuff in
I
Florida.
think so. I mean, they're not that big down here in South Florida. I haven't seen them that much, but I don't know if they're in like upper Florida. Not really sure. I
Yeah,
have to see. But overall, an up morning. I believe they're going to try to have a quiet week. I want to hit some volatility on the opening. I don't know. VIX is down, to 22. I mean, we're going to find out today what VIX is made of. If they open here and fail, this week will not be that easy. But if they, chill, then I think maybe we'll get away with a little bit more quiet week. But it's too early to tell right now.
yeah. The front end is still inverted, but much less so. And I think the VIX. You look at this chart on the VIX futures. I think we're at an important pivot point in the VIX. This is a volume profile of this initial where the blue box is. That was a breakout that I think set a lot of volatility off last week, and
Mhm.
we're kind of like right there at that volume support, and said this is a pivot point. This right here, exactly right here, 2120 is a pivot point to me on the VIX future.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, very quiet from what I see across the board. I'm surprised at how quiet. Thought Bitcoin would do a little bit better. I think I want to, I don't know. I'm like, on one hand, I want to up my position in Bitcoin, get a
And on
little
the
bit
other, you
more aggressive.
flat, right?
But what?
And on the other hand, you want to go flat.
I don't want to go flat, but I would sit in the position. It's just I feel like I'm with a bunch of clown heads, you know, and these people that have bought. This is what I'm not understanding, and I've been doing this a really long time. I always say that, but I've been doing this a really long time, and I just can't understand the mantra of these people and how they believe. And like, if you sit and look at Bitcoin, you can't even tell me what it's used for. You can't. I mean, I can tell you what I think. I think, and it's funny. I was talking to one of my kids, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Bitcoin's used for illegal activity, for bookies to settle debts, and all this other stuff." Like, what is Bitcoin actually like? Who do you know that's ever used Bitcoin to do anything to transact? Honestly, honestly.
The big long term mantra for Bitcoin and crypto is that they want to modernize the financial system. You
Yeah,
know,
but here's the thing. I get all that, Eric, but
Coinbase CEO
that's
said this
today.
recently.
We could look back in 10 years and say Bitcoin was a complete joke and was basically not even anything that could be used for the financial system. And that's what I'm thinking, because technology is so advanced and moving so quickly that this could be antiquated within 5 years. This could be a joke at the way we transact. Literally. There could be a completely new, different way to transact. And then my better question, I ask this all the time, and I don't think you could give me the answer to it, but you want me to ask you?
Go ahead. You
Why
can
does
ask
the
me.
why does the price of Bitcoin fluctuate every day? What? Why? Who? Why? Why? It makes no sense. You're processing banking transactions, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
The price of the U.S. dollar is
sorry. It's
like
used
this.
for that. I mean, 70%, about 70% of Bitcoin is probably store of value kind of situation, similar
So
to gold.
why does it
If
move
you can
so?
ask that question, you gotta kind of ask the same question about gold. Why does gold price fluctuate every day?
Why?
Why does any?
I
Yeah,
think I think it fluctuates for a number of different reasons. A, supply and demand. B, producers. B, C, this, that. The bottom line is everything. Listen, like I always say, we could at the opportunistic trader, we could trade dog poop if they made a market on it.
no, no,
It's irrelevant.
that analogy flies here. You know why? Because after COVID, before COVID, correlation of Bitcoin and gold was zero and negligible, and nobody cared. After COVID, something happened. Like you could see the correlation was like this, flat, and then after COVID, it leveled up and it stayed there, and now it fluctuates at a higher level. So something happened after COVID that got these two to start reacting to similar things.
But it's just
We all know what that
honestly,
is,
it's
right?
honestly machinery. It's just machinery. It's algorithmic machinery. The same
It's
way that same
not
way
the
today,
government flooding the system with with printed money. It's not that.
bro, listen to me. I am telling you, if I fast forwarded or back fast when in reverse 3 weeks, and when Bitcoin was on the high and gold was on the high, having you on where you said there's no end in sight, no end in sight, no end in sight. Literally,
Did I ever
the
say that
most
really?
you are literally the most
That's
confident
just like me. That's something that I would say, Larry. Sure. Okay.
dude. You are the most confident guy that I've ever seen. There was nothing that
What do
could
you want
take
me to do?
away
Come
from that.
on here and be like wishy washy? I don't know. What do you want me to do?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
gold
I'm not
still a
wishy-washy, but
gold.
I'm always a little bit
Did I not say
weary.
gold to 4,000 this year? It hit. Where's my free dinner, dude?
Okay,
How many
dude,
Bitcoin
whatever.
dinners do you owe me already?
Okay. Whatever, dude. You're right. You've never made a losing trade. You're right. I know.
I'm perfect
It's
for the business.
awesome.
I see it all the time.
Whatever you say. I listen, I don't even want to get into that. What I'm saying to you, the reason why I bring that up is you talk about liquidity, you talk about whatever the reasons is. There's only one reason Bitcoin is where it is. It's called price. Okay. And I've been talking about this for months and months and months and months. It's price. And right now, Larry is long. That's me. Okay. And the reason why it can't go up, there's only one reason. It's called price. That's the reason why it can't go up. If the price goes above 90,000, then it might be able to go up again. But right now, it can't go up because of price. Okay. Everybody is long. Nobody can buy more because they've already bought more 4 or 5 different times because they've been led to the well by people like your buddy that no matter what, Bitcoin is going up, no matter what, no reason why, just it's always going up. But I'm telling you, the one thing that I can tell you on this show is price controls everything. Okay. Right now, if S&P was down 50 on the day, the market would feel a lot different than it is when it's up 34. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah.
Right. So
I,
it's all price. So the
I
bottom
love
line is,
that saying, bulls live higher, bears live lower. I love that saying. It's very true.
well, it's true because, but it took a lot in Bitcoin to break them. And I was talking to a buddy of mine every day when we were bearish all the way down from 128 or 125 and it got down to 100. We were freaking out that we could not see stops. We saw no stops, none, from 103 all the way down to 90. Okay. The first whooshy whoosh, which is where you see the machine shake and whatever, was at freaking 85,000 down to 81,000 twice on Thursday and Friday. Okay. That's liquidation. That's why I bought it because I finally saw the whooshy whoosh. But the bottom line is right now, we're long it and it's crap. You listen, it doesn't even make sense how bad it is. I mean, listen, you just have to go through the cycle. You hope the cycle recycles at 80,000, not 70, which it may. Listen, this thing is, I'm being dead honest with you. It's garbage. Why is it garbage, Eric? It's 83, 84,000. Why is it garbage? This should be a layup, right? I mean,
Yeah,
if you
I
told
thought
any
it was. I thought it was a layup trade on Friday. I did. I mean, where'd you get in? 85, 84?
No, we started getting it at 89 and we're probably down a little on the trade. Not a lot, but I have options so we have time decay, and whatever, but it's shocking to me. Why is this so bad? That's the question I have for you. Maybe we get a trade down to 60,000. I don't know where we're going to end up going. I mean, we have stops in our trade, but dude, this thing has massive problems. You don't think so, but there is, like you said, every 5, 10, 20 Bitcoin guy is wrecked. They're destroyed. The guys that wouldn't have a problem here are guys that bought it 2 years ago. But anybody that bought Bitcoin this entire year basically is down money. Isn't that a problem? And the thing is,
I asked, I asked the chat, what are the Bitcoin bulls doing? And one of them said crying.
dude, there's no crying in trading. Okay, we've already discussed that. I saw grown men cry. Okay, when I started trading, that's the only time I saw grown men cry. There is no crying in trading. Okay, you gotta, if you're crying, you're in the wrong business. Okay, you gotta toughen up. Okay, and you shouldn't put yourself in a position where you would have to cry. But the Bitcoin thing
I
is
could see
it's
you like a trading coach. You know what I mean? Like a real trading coach, like a drill sergeant type of. You know what I'm saying? Like knock the knock the sensitive out of the trader. It's
yeah, we used to hire a trading psychiatrist or psychologist. He died though. Avi or Ari Kiev,
here.
Steve Cohn.
This is my trading psychologist right here.
I don't know what that's telling you. What is that telling you?
Listen, there's all. Think about it like this: a lot of Nobel Prize laureates in economics are not finance people by trade, but are actually psychiatrists. How crazy is that?
No, it makes sense, I guess. I mean, I don't know, but why do you need a psychiatrist? You're a quant. Okay,
Exactly.
you want to put out. You know what? This is what a quant
I'm
is.
not a quant, but I know how to work with quants,
I'm just
and that's
saying, but the quants, like I was a trader for years and I still am, but I was a trader with my hedge fund for years and years and years. And basically, my thought was, hey, I made every trading decision. And if the trading decisions were wrong, you knew exactly who to go to. Me. Hey, Larry, why did you do this? How come you lost this money? I had to answer to the higher authority, right? The investor, the client. These algos, you know what they say when they lose? This is exactly what they say. Oh, we got to tweak the model. We got to tweak the model. They get like
that's a
18 different they get 18 different chances. That's why the quant is in existence because they get 18 shots. Oh, we'll go in the back room and we'll change whatever. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just
Yeah, well, there's a
literally
scientific method involved, which is hypothesis, back testing, experimentation phase, production. With discretionary macro traders, the guy could roll over on the wrong side of the bed, okay, stub his toe. Now he's in a bad mood, right? Then his wife says something to him. Then his kids say something to him. And then he remembers, right? And all of a sudden, that's the risk of a discretionary macro trader. Very few
I
people,
don't see any
right?
risk.
I know you're maybe
No, I
because
don't
you're
see any risk. If
weird.
all of those scenarios happened to me, I would trade way better. My
Exactly,
C
because you're weird.
my
But
CEO would
a lot
come
of
in my
people can't
office.
do that.
What?
Yeah, you're able to do that because you are one of a kind. But
No,
other,
I'm not anything anymore, but I'm telling you, my CEO would come in my office to piss me off every morning, and the more angry I would get, the more money we would make. Okay, so I don't buy that. I mean, the bottom line is the best traders in the world, okay, and you can read it in Market Wizards, were all discretionary. I mean, listen, there are guys like Cliff Asness, and there are
Galileo,
Renaissance Capital, but
yeah,
overall the market
yeah,
is different now because it's all algo, but back in the day it was all great, discretionary macro traders that, you would look for guys to be just like that. Now it's all a computer. Like today, if the market blows up, nobody says anything. Oh, who are you yelling at? Who are you saying anything to? Who are you angry with? A computer? How can you get angry with a computer? It reminds me of like an old Twilight Zone
well,
show.
that's not. Look, I mean, if the design of the model doesn't work
What do you mean? You'll just redesign it. You
after,
work there. They just redesign it. They'll say, "Oh, we'll tweak this to the left and this to the right." And listen, I don't want to get too into it,
no, there's
but
a limit. Like, there's a limit. There's a limit. If the guy designing the model doesn't know anything about the market, he's not going to design a good model.
Eric, the models that are making money are front running models. Okay, that's what
That's
I'll tell you. Okay,
that's
let me ask you,
that's
how did Virtue Financial go years and years and years and years without a losing day? Is that trading? I'm just trying to understand.
that's a different quant than AQR and Renaissance, right? AQR, Renaissance are looking for alphas. The whole job of every quant in there is to come up with these different alphas every day. Hey, how many
But how do
alphas
they
did you?
know? How do they know what's going to work? How do they know?
They say, okay, I'm going to do if this and that, and I'm going to back test it. And hey, look, I have a 3 sharp expectancy on that. Okay, let's put it. And then they start testing it,
Yeah, but how about
So,
this? How about I did that before there was ever a model?
They
Okay.
called you
I looked at
they
this.
called you a human algo, so I'm sure you did. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. You harped
But
on fly.
now the algo works to the opposite. I see four clues. I see four clues that tell me the market is going up. You know what I do? I go the opposite way because it's a fake out. Okay. I used to go that way. Now I go the opposite way. It's like the MOCs. At the end of the day, the MOC says to buy. It used to work like a charm. Now it's the opposite. If this thing comes in at 330 that it's to sell, we're buying because we know it's not telling the truth. So
By the
really,
way, where do people get this MOC data? Like I've seen it on Twitter a little bit late, but I've seen some info on Twitter. Nothing I can rely on. Like, where do you get that data?
you get that off the floor. We have brokers all over the street that provide us that information, from very large firms, and they basically have the imbalances. But it used to be
My God,
pure.
the chat is saying that your CEO knew exactly what he was doing.
He did.
He knew to piss you off.
What do you mean? He used to hand me a wrinkled piece of paper at the beginning of the year. And I'm like, dude, what is that? He goes, open it up. I open it up. It had a number on it, and the number was pretty big. And he's like, this is what you have to make next year. And I'm like, you go make it. I'm like, he would get me so crazed, but it worked. It definitely worked. But
There you go.
you know, I don't know. Market is just drifting higher, and you
Yeah,
know,
I'm gonna stick my toe in the water and grab a couple of futures contracts here.
what does that mean? Grab.
Buy.
Dude, you and Thomas with these words. How do you grab futures? Grab meaning buy, grab meaning sell.
We're
What do
sorry.
you?
Okay, we used the wrong word that is not to your liking.
Well, what
We
is
apologize.
grab? Are you selling or
What word
buying?
do you want me to use? Grab. Okay, I said grab. How
What
does
does
that
grab
piss you
mean?
off?
Grab to me means you're buying.
Okay, do you rather I say buying? Would that make you happier in life?
Well, I don't know. Grab doesn't mean anything in trading. Hey, I'm grabbing some futures here.
But it
Yeah,
means
man, we
something
grabbed
outside
some
of trading.
futures.
Okay, but outside of trading, it means to acquire, correct? Grab.
Why would you buy futures up 50 when you could have bought them anywhere this morning lower? This
Because
is where
now I
you
like
like the level?
I wasn't sure about your thesis that the market can go red. Now I'm a little bit more sure about it, but just a little bit. I'm actually not sure.
Dude,
I actually think the market,
Thomas,
if it
you gotta
works,
come
it could
here.
go red.
What does this say? Yeah, I gotta tell you. I just gotta. Can you come here? Come here. I'm here. You're not here. What does that say? Chat AI wants to send you a message. I mean, what is going on here? Like chat AI wants to send me a message. Wait, they're gonna make $1 million off me off this. I'm not touching that thing. I mean, what is going on here, man? This thing is this chat. It's funny. How come AI was in a crash mode last week and now everything's fine? Literally. Just tell me
So
why.
in the beginning of the podcast, I was like, "Is this just rotation sprinkled with a little liquidity issue?" If that's the case, both of these are short term things. If this is like a bigger
The other one.
situation, I mean, I don't know.
Bigger situation of what?
It just reminds me of 2018 when what got the 2018 market down at the end of the year was what usually gets the market down, which is the Fed bailing out and not cutting rates. They wanted to actually go the other way until Powell had to capitulate. Kind of remind it's is it that is it really the fact that we're not going to potentially get a rate cut? If that's the case, it could be bigger, and it could go into December. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Do you know? I don't
I
know.
have no idea. I'm not really. I am in the camp Fed is not cutting rates. You're in the camp Fed is cutting rates. Um, we'll see
I'm
what
not in
happens.
the camp of cutting rates.
Oh, you aren't?
No, I'm in the camp that he'll probably just the real question is there a difference between the December cut and a January cut?
I personally,
You
I
see what
don't
I'm
know.
saying? It's like the same cut.
Well, I think there's definitely a difference. They're going to get a month more of fake data. And if that data shows inflation, then they're not going to cut. So definitely a big difference. You're going to see
Well,
another
I think the
full month
January
of
meeting is
data.
yeah. So I think the January meeting is where if they're going to
I
cut, they'll
just want to
probably
know that you said on the air that you're grabbing some futures here. They were up 49 on the day. Okay. And you think that that's a level to buy, up 49 on the day after I walked in and they were up 8. And you
that's
like
only
this
half
level.
the standard. Yeah, look, I
What
thought
are you
that
looking for? You think they're going to be up 100 today? What are you looking for?
I like the dip. I like that it dipped a little bit and then recovered. I love that. You have like a set level. It can't rally past it. It dips below it, and then as soon as it comes right back into it, the probabilities are pretty high that you could get like 10 handles more to the upside.
So you're playing I just want to get the mantra of this trade. You're playing this up, you buy up 49 and you're playing for 10 handles.
I'm just gonna grab. I bought a few contracts. I'm gonna hold it until
Grabbing.
grab,
You're
grab,
you're grabbing them. You grabbed them,
grab,
dude. That's my new trading term. Whenever I buy, I'm gonna tell Thomas to grab a couple of futures for me. Hey,
grab
buddy,
a
it's
couple.
like going shopping in Publix. Grab me some bread, man. Dude, you
The,
made my day.
okay, well, you what word do you want us to use? Just
Buy.
buy.
I'm buying future. Be very succinct. I'm buying. I'm selling.
Okay, all right.
Hey, yo, yo, grab me some futures here. Right on, dude. Anyway, let's quickly go through it because we're late in the
I'm so
podcast.
sorry. I said grab. I really am.
Dude,
I'm
I'm
so sorry.
glad you grabbed futures on the. Actually, it's not the. It's right on the high. You may get 10 handles. Who knows? Anyway, overall dollar is. I just want to quickly go over the markets and then wrap. Dollar's kind of flattish around, not a lot going on. Bonds have had a decent move up here. Yields are at 404, heading to the low. You've been right about that trade for the moment. S&P up 50, 47. And, it's interesting. You know how much the Dow was up on Friday? Shockingly, 500 points. That's a lot. So today, what you're seeing is the Dow can't rally and Nasdaq is rallying. So it's back to that computerized thing where they do that trade. When you see the Dow rallying, you could probably sell Nasdaq. That there was only one day last week where all indexes were down in the same day, which is shocking, even during the sell-off. It was funny. The other day, the S&P was down like 70, and I looked up, and the Dow was up 200. And a friend of mine and I were talking, and I'm like, the market can't crash with the Dow up 200. And then all of a sudden, the Dow went up 100, and the S&P and Nasdaq rallied. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It like reversed that trade. So right now you got, S&P up 50. You're grabbing some here. I don't like that trade. Just, I think, maybe we come in a little. Um, what else? Oil.
It,
I really want
it's
to
an
buy it.
introductory. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's an introductory buy.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. You know what that is. You know what
I
that is.
actually don't know what that is. I know if I lose 10 handles on an introductory buy, I'm not that happy. But
No, no.
you're in the new realm of trading, so I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave your grabbing futures and an introductory trade and all these other things. I'm gonna leave that to you and your millennial group of traders to navigate that course. Gold's flattish up 10 points, nothing there. Um, Europe is slightly higher across the board, and we expect a fairly quiet day. Again, Europe grabbing futures up here. I would sell futures up here. You're already down 6 handles. I don't know I don't know what your introductory buy
Yeah,
is going to do.
yeah. Down
Uh,
about 5 handles. Yeah.
Whatever. I don't, you know, I don't see anything big happening here today, but we'll see. Hopefully they don't reverse and go down. Um, but Bitcoin, I think, should have been doing better for the market to perform better. Again, I don't even know what that's up now, but I think it's up about it's up like 1%, dude. This thing is garbage. You got to ask your boy what to do, dude. He's sitting back in his fat chair, just chilling out, down 37%. Don't worry, it's all good. All good. All good. Anyway, I'm going to wrap here. I wish everyone luck trading. I just want to let you know the grab is now down 7.5 handles. What's your stop, dude? There's no way you have a stop 3 points from here. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. But dude, I'm glad you did the introductory trade on the air. But I wish you luck, and I wish everyone luck trading today. I think it's going to be fairly quiet. I think you can sell upside.
Iron Condor Day. Is that what you're saying?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's interesting though. Puts are pricing higher than calls, which is surprising. You know, but futures only up 40 now. We'll see what happens. Don't be, stay on your toes, everyone, and we'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy. Peace.